Yo guys, what is going on? I got a Rookie Rush deck profile for you guys. This is a Rookie Rush blue-green version. I think this deck is legitimately one of the best in the 1.5 format. Not to mention, it's like relatively budget. Like, aside from this guy being like kind of expensive for no reason, like this deck is mostly comprised of like rookies, obviously, so a lot of these cards are commons and rares. So if you just really want a deck that is rage inducing and really frustrating for other people to play against, then this is the deck for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, of course, this being a Rookie Rush deck, we are playing a very high count of rookies. I want to say like 27 or 20 something. There is quite a lot, and a lot of them are the two to play rookies because it is so memory efficient and you are really trying to play that game with your opponent. You really just want to put a bunch of dudes on field and attack security as frequently as possible, because this deck is not defensive in any way, shape, or form aside from the copies of Puppetmon you're playing. But yeah, so we got 4 copies of Electmon, 4 copies of Gomamon, pretty standard, and then I'm also playing 2 copies of Armadillomon. Now, while he is a 1 cost to evolve, you're typically going to try to play him from your hand as much as possible, but being 4,000 is pretty big, so, you know, you really just want to swing your guys into security, and if they survive, that's just like a bonus. Like, you don't really expect them to survive, but if they do, it's just like even better, because then it puts pressure on your opponent for the next turn. So I think Armadillomon is good in that regard, and I'm also playing 4 copies of Gomamon. This is the on deletion +1 Gomamon. Now, this is more of a tech choice. I don't know how standard this is in Rookie Rush. This is actually my first time building it, so if there's any experts watching this video, you can let me know. But I do think this is very nice because you are playing 4 copies of Gorillamon and 4 copies of XVmon for your blue champion, so being able to gain a memory every single time he dies is pretty sweet, because you're really just going to swing those guys into security as well. So I think, you know, being the 3 play cost is worth it, and you're just going to try to evolve him as much as possible. And then, of course, we've got one of the best cards in this deck, the card that single-handedly makes this strategy viable, or I guess the best it's going to be in a while in the Digimon TCG, is jamming Vmon. Vmon is super powerful, being able to swing at security and knowing he is most likely going to survive unless you, you know, flip open a Gaia Force or something like that, and then, you know, pair him with something like XVmon, which gets to unsuspend one of your level 4 lower Digimon, and you've got a recipe for a flurry of attacks and just putting pressure on your opponent as quickly as possible. So Vmon is very good in that regard. And then I'm also just playing 3 copies of Gabumon. Now, this might not be like the most ideal, but as many 2-play rookies as I'm playing, sometimes you find yourself in a position in Rookie Rush where you have to play very carefully, and if you know, just vomit your hand onto the field, you're not going to have anything left for the following turn if your opponent does manage to just, you know, play a Volcanic Dramon, for example, or something like that. So I think the draw 1 is pretty nice, just helps out with consistency. And then for the other rookies, I'm playing 4 copies of Arurumon and 4 copies of Mushroomon. Again, I'm not playing any green eggs in this deck, but just being able to play, you know, these 2 cost rookies from your hand and having them be 5,000 is so much for a rookie. Like, there's no reason this guy should be this strong, but, you know, the 5,000 4,000 threshold for rookies is pretty crazy. So that, you know, that's why I'm playing this. Plus they're green, so it works well with Flower Cannon. And then, of course, I previously mentioned these guys for the level 4s. For blue, I am playing 4 copies of Gorillamon, again, just a cheap evolution, and then puts them at 6,000, so it does actually threaten blockers, you know, aside from like Gardramon or something. But anyway, so, you know, just getting the evolution and the draw and then the boost in attack is nice. XVmon, I talked about how you can unsuspend your own guys. And then 2 copies of Vegemon, same logic as Gorillamon, but only 2 copies because I'm only playing 6 green rookies. And then 3 copies of Puppetmon. This guy single-handedly can win you games, just being able to prevent your opponent from attacking over any of your rookies, securing your board for the following turn, and just being able to gain a memory every time you swing is pretty nice as well. So Puppetmon is definitely a staple. And then for the other cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Davis. This is a blue and green mix deck. I'm playing a lot of green Digimon in here, so not only the starting with 3 memory is very, very solid in Rookie Rush, especially because that lets you, you know, for example, play 2 rookies straight from your hand every single turn is pretty sweet, but then also being able to go +2 in a deck where you really need advantage as much as possible. For Hammer Spark, of course, it's a very good defensive card, and then you also get to just gain a memory every single time you activate it. So being able to manage your memory even better with your rookies, and then 3 copies of Flower Cannon to rest your opponent's blockers to being able to swing 4 games. So then for the eggs, I'm just playing 4 copies of Upamon. I think he's the best blue egg, and being able to draw a card, again, like I said, because sometimes when you just vomit your hand and you don't have any follow-up plays, being able to draw as much as possible is very important in this deck. So guys, that is going to be the profile. Let me know if you did enjoy. I would highly suggest you guys mess around with this deck. It is very fun, and if you are ever going to find yourself in a tournament setting, be sure you do not forget this deck. Don't disrespect it. It is a very viable deck. So guys, that's going to be the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.